Mary, I think it's a good point there, women supporting other women. I think that's more crucial than anything.
Yeah, it's because I think so much is women lead much the same lives as other women in the workplace. And the biggest issue, I think, is that sort of support at home and being able to just chat with each other and get tips from other women on how they do it. I mean, I get asked that all the time, you know, all the time.
What Christine's getting at is that some women can be women's worst enemy in the workplace.
Yeah, no, they can. But even that sort of tribalism of women, you know, being the worst enemy of women or women against men, I think if you kind of eradicate that totally in your head and just think we're all here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the problem, Mary, for women anyway, is the fact they do tend to be the ones that are the homemakers who have the babies at home. Doesn't that make it difficult for them?
I just think psychologically it really is. I know there'll be men going, oh, I look after the kids and I do my share, but in your head, it's still you who's kind of responsible. I remember running at a business meeting saying to the nanny, have you fed him this? Have you fed him that tonight? You know, make sure he eats this. And I'm not sure I saw a lot of other blokes doing it, put it that way. So I think that sort of child care support system in some way has to be sorted.
What about in the music industry, Cliff? Are women getting to the top there? What's the problem?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the moment, I would say that I hear more female voices in the charts than I hear men.
What about in terms of management, though? I mean, we know they can sing, but, you know, are they running the music
companies? You're talking about what women can do. They've outsung us. They're outselling us. So women can do it, even in the rock and roll world, in the whole music business. But yeah, when it comes to, I still feel that somehow or another, because if they get a great position in life, there comes that point when they want to have babies, and it's going to take 3 or 4 years out of their lives before they can get carers to come in and look after it. And maybe that's the problem. It's one of those inbuilt problems, and I don't know if...
So what do we do? Make allowances for that? Do men in the workplace say, right, you come back and we will allow for the fact that...
I don't know how it works. It seems to me that if someone is going to leave to have a child, the company can't afford to fold up. They'd have to get someone else. Yeah. Now, if you could find people who would stand in for those periods, maybe other women.
Yeah.
As a brave, marauding, successful woman, what do you make of this woman here, Sarah Palin, who's made a name for herself in the States? What do you make of her?
Oh, is that the example, do we
think?
No. I mean, you know, maybe she's got some sort of, you know, microchip that's been put in there that's making her like she is. But I mean, I would not look at her and think, that's who I want to be or behave in that way.
But ultimately, she's bigging the party up on her beliefs to support a man to be president, you know, as
but she could be the president. That's the whole thing. That to me is the interesting factor. This whole campaign that's happened. I've never been interested in American politics at all.
Yeah.
But it's really sucked me in.
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing that it's not just a matter of waiting for 4 years to go. When the 4 years is up, and she can actually run for president right now.
That won't happen. Hillary will kill her before that happens. Hillary wants to be the president.
Well, I don't know. I don't care what Mary says. I just love this woman. I heard her. She was like a breath of fresh air. She just went, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to do, this is what my husband does, he's a fisherman, who cares?
Tell the press, Cliff backs Sarah Palin.
Exactly. Us women just need to try and get a word in edgeways. Sometimes it's difficult.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't mean you, Cliff.
Anyway.
Believe me, I don't mean you.
It is bewildering. This is recyclable.
Yeah, and then, of course, this.
We don't know whether that is
We don't know
or
if it is.
Well, we just don't know because it's got no symbol on it.
No little symbol.
That we recognise.
But you see, I would just put that in anyway.
That's plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
But it might not be the right sort of plastic. This is like right leaves on the line. It's the whole kind of excuses again. This is why we can't.
But we are improving, aren't we? We always say the Europeans are better, but we're getting...
We are getting better, and of course they've had a 20-year head start on us because we didn't even start recycling properly until a few years ago. So we are getting good.
So you mean in Germany they'd actually know what that was?
I don't know if they'd sell it without a symbol on it.
And there's no regulation saying you have to put a symbol on it? It seems ridiculous.
In the UK, it is ridiculous.
So
there is no
it's
symbol.
better just to still carry on putting that into your recycling rubbish.
I'd give it a go.
At the other end.
Well, I'd give it a go and see if they took it.
And Cliff, in Portugal,
but if it
it's much easier.
I think you might get fined.
Yeah.
You might.
Exactly, so it's all very confusing.
But in Portugal, they just stick everything in landfill, don't they? There's none of this messing around.
Yeah, they have these great big green bins. I've got 2 of them, though, which is something. One is for regular garbage and one is for glass.
Yeah.
But we don't have a separation for cardboard and paper and plastic and stuff.
In all of Portugal, I reckon there's you and Jose Mourinho who have those big bins. I don't think anyone else buys.
No, they're all over the Algarve. In fact, we don't have any street names. So what you have to say is when you get to the garbage bin, turn left. At the next set of garbage, turn right. That's my house.
Cliff, as you're here, we thought we'd do a bit of geology. Your name being a geological feature. We need links to different items, you see, Cliff. We'll try anything.
Actually, I quite like that one.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well done. Cliff. Aubrey
Sorry,
Mannings.
Cliff.
Sorry.
I don't mean to be disrespectful,
No,
but we do look for
Not at all.
links. No.
Cliff
I don't
likes
think-
it.
No,
It's just as well you're not biodegradable.
Definitely not my
Yes. Anyway, Aubrey Mannings.
Let's talk about Cliff's book, My
Yeah,
Life, My Way. But you've always been very private about your private life, but you've kind of opened up a little bit in this book, and the press have come diving in.
Yeah, they have. They've always been diving in, actually. But the funny thing is, nothing in there have I said that's real. Well, some of it's new because, in fact, Penny Junior, who helped me write this, got out of me philosophies that I had buried away. But in fact, some of those topics I've talked about many, many times. But you know, sometimes you can talk to a journalist and they'll listen to you, but they have their own agenda. So they'll make it sound like something else very often. That's why at the beginning of the book I say, this is my book. I am writing this book. I am going to have you hear what I believe about certain things. So I did. And they still take out bits and bobs and twist it around and change it. But I've been thanking people all day long, the media in particular. The very fact that they're even writing about me after 50 years is a miracle. And I love it. All I want them to do now is to start talking about the tour that I'm going to be doing. On November
You got that,
10th.
everybody? The tour he's doing, sir.
No, but remember, I'm not really a writer. I've co-written this. It's all my heart and soul in there. I took 3 manuscripts and changed it to make it sound like me. But I'm actually a singer, believe it or not.
But do you care what the press say about you? You say you're frightened of the press. I mean, you must have...
No,
a
I'm not.
you know.
You've had a tough time, certainly.
They frighten me sometimes because they have great power. If only they realize what power they have, they may be more responsible with it. Because I don't think they're very responsible. And the other thing is they've got to learn to love people. Even if they don't like how they sing. They've got to learn to say, well, this guy's done well or she's doing really well. We'll try and build her up. Don't tear her down or him down. And they haven't learned how to do that. So at the moment, this last week, for instance, I suddenly realized I don't fear them at all. They have no power over me. I'm just grateful they're writing about me. So everything's changed. And you know, I haven't lost a single night's sleep since all this crap came out.
Right. We're going to rearrange all your words and replay them in a different order tomorrow.
No, this is live, and November the 10th I start my tour.
Right.
Do, yes. So 50, a celebratory tour. Yeah,
It is.
Good
It
one.
is.
He's going to Belfast.
In fact, it's really going to be the peak of my celebrations.
Fantastic novels. About a book a day, that is. Are you a fast reader?
I wasn't at the beginning, but I was the Usain Bolt of reading by the time I got going.
You're a busy man, Hardy. Or did you find this extra time to manage to get through so many?
It is astonishing the time you don't think you have in the day. For example, travelling, as you mentioned in the film, is a great opportunity to read. But also that time late at night, when you perhaps would just be doing nothing, that kind of dead time in the day when perhaps, you know, you're not doing...
But after a day spent reading, you think, I can't wait to go to bed and have a good read.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, you approach it differently. I'm not for a minute suggesting I read normally at all. My reading was massively abnormal. And it's not perhaps the best way to read. But the other thing is this, you see, we wouldn't think twice about following 3 or 4 soap operas simultaneously. But why would we not think about reading 3 or 4 novels simultaneously? We've clearly got the brain capacity to follow disparate storylines. Do it with books. If you want a body stripper for the mornings, have a body stripper for the mornings. Something slightly historical for afternoons. And whatever you want in the evenings, far be it from me to prescribe. Perhaps
you don't read at that rate.
I don't think I could, no. And also, if I tried to read 3 or 4 books at the same time, I'm not quite sure I could judge them. You know, even now, it takes me a month to read a book. Not that I'm a slow reader, it's just that I read, you go to bed, I like to read, go to bed, guaranteed 10 minutes, my eyes are going like this, and I wake up and it's dark and the book's lying on the floor. And it's really tough, I find it tough, but yours was a commitment to read that many books.
So.
Have you read them all, Hardeep, or have you cheated a little bit?
I have read every book on the list.
I was worried when he said he reads when he's travelling, because I believe he rides a bike.
He's a very talented man, I must say. Is your personal favourite on there? Would you admit if it wasn't?
I have to say, my personal favourite is there, but also if any one of those 6 books ended up winning, we should be very, very happy. I mean, there's a lot of negativity that we're not reading enough. I clearly think we are a nation that is.
Okay, Hardeep, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
And Cliff, good luck with the book, Perspective number 1, and absolutely
And the
everything
tour.
else. And the tour.
Oh, and a single out.
And the single as well.
Single
Don't
out.
forget
Oh,
the
it's
single.
all in.
Available all your Woolworths.
Thank you. Tomorrow,